Good afternoon in the Real Deal kitchen. It took a little bit to get here this afternoon. This morning I drew the perspective card from the Dream Dust Shamanic Tarot that was gifted to me just recently. Perspective card, it relates to the hanged one in traditional tarot, and these cards are little lessons or big lessons. When I choose one for the day, I usually try to keep in mind keep that in somewhere in the corner of my mind, what might be coming up for me. And I will say today I didn't do a great job so far with the perspective card, which relates to the hanged one, which is kind of a bit about letting go, letting loose of how we want things to be and go. So this is my real deal fess up about the frustration that has taken me to get to this moment today. But the moment brings us to now we'll try to keep it in perspective. Last week we did a little bit with za'atar on the feta, on the French style feta, and we are going to, as I had mentioned, you can then serve it as is or perhaps employ it in other recipes. And so here's a little piece that is left from our weekend enjoyment of the za'atar spiced feta. And today we will be using that piece with with carrots that we're roasting, with a little bit of chili and some thyme, to make yet another a spread or dip or hummus, if you'd like to refer to it as that. So it's a roasted carrot spread. Again, this is another older recipe in my pantry, and that's also on the bonerootandherb.com website, which I'll make a note of that. But very simply, the carrots will get roasted and then processed in the food processor with this feta, a little bit of tahini, and some sesame seeds, and some more cumin perhaps, and lemon juice. So it's the base, those are the bones of the recipe. The recipe is online. And then the other thing that we are doing today in the kitchen is we're working with Ras el Hanout, which is a North African, Moroccan spice blend. And like za'atar, when you're talking about spice blends and even curries and things like this, they are going to vary as widely as the households or spice shops that you purchase them from. But as I understand it, Ras el Hanout loosely translates into top of the shelf. So it's quite a generous array of spices that go into this: coriander seed, dry turmeric, dry ginger, cinnamon. I put some chili in, paprika, cloves, allspice. Now, this sounds like it is a laundry list, and this is the kind of thing that you could certainly purchase pre-made. But as you perhaps become interested in building up your own pantry, spice pantry, this is something that's lovely to make. There's just something about using your own hands, as much as you can get your own hands into the things that you're making, blends, foods. It just simply creates a different essence and flavor, imparts a different feeling to the food that you're eating. And I know in our busy world that this is a very difficult thing for most of us to wrap our minds around. But if you're listening to these at all, perhaps you already have an interest or are taking an interest in slowing down and breathing a little bit more. Again, we share what we need to learn most, and I needed to learn that a lot today. So basically, how I'm going to employ this very aromatic and pungent spice mixture, which is traditionally used a lot in tagines and slow cooked things. I'm doing it a bit differently. We've pan roasted, pan seared some cauliflower, um, and we've tried to keep it in kind of thick steak-like pieces as much as possible. I find that technique very difficult. If you're getting those steaks in restaurants, I can't imagine how many heads of cauliflower they go through to get those perfect steaks for your plate. But anyway, we've pan seared one side of the cauliflower, and then I'm going to sprinkle or liberally, I should say, douse, more likely, this Ras el Hanout over the cauliflower, and that will get roasted in the oven as well. And since we have pan seared it, I'm going to roast these kind of at a low temperature, both of them, so that the sweetness comes out, and then also the spice flavor can develop a little bit more on the cauliflower. So that's what we're working with today in the Real Deal kitchen, and trying to keep things in perspective for the rest of the day. Perhaps that's my lesson for the whole week. Maybe I don't need to draw another card for a few days. And that's pretty much it for the moment. And I'll be serving that cauliflower. I will babble on for one more minute because I'm excited about how I'll be serving. I'll be serving it with yogurt and some pomegranate molasses, with perhaps some pistachios crushed over top. So, is it dinner yet? It's going to be dinner soon. That's it for the moment from the Real Deal Kitchen, and we're so happy that you joined us today, and be well.